Welcome to another great version of Younger Life. Good morning. I'm Rick Federici.
And I'm Mary Anthony.
Mary Anthony, it is a great day to be alive
It
again
sure
today.
is.
Woo woo!
I know it.
You feel the chill in the air?
I do. There's certainly a bite in the air, but that's okay. It won't last forever. You know, it's spring. 'Tis the season, I suppose.
Can I tell you,
never
I
know.
have to tell you, this is the crazy thing. When we did that bike ride, we're going to see excerpts of that bike ride on Thursday, tomorrow. Right? Okay. Part of the Younger Life show. And you could view it on youtube.com, youngerlife.org/live, anytime you want, podcasts, all that fun stuff. And our radio affiliate, of course, WIMS AM 1420. But this weather reminds me of the crazy ride.
I know. And
it's like,
actually, it was when we got in the van to take the kids to school this morning, it was 46. And I kept thinking, it feels cold, but it was even colder on our ride. It was 44. It was crazy.
But when you say 44, you realize that the numbers go through my head.
Well, 44 and foggy and damp and misty and yuck. So
wind
it
was
was,
like,
I know.
like,
It was fun though. We had a great time.
It reminds me of the old Memorex commercial for you wiser ones out there that are at least my age, when the guy would sit in the chair and he'd Memorex, and his hair would blow back. When they would jam, you're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, old man?
I'm trying to pull that commercial out of a file somewhere mentally, and I can't think of that commercial. That's funny.
Well, one of the things we are going to talk about today, we're going to chat with my daughter, Carly.
Yep.
And we're going to just chat with her a little bit about working out. She's in that age group where she's 22.
Right.
She's young college professional, young working professional, always on the go. But she manages to kind of balance it out.
That's it. I love to get those perspectives. So I would love to, I'm excited to talk to her and see how she finds that balance and what keeps her motivated to keep going. And we're also talking about a few different things today. First of all, I want to know about Devin, your other daughter that wiped out on the rollerblades.
Really, it's been a very unique last few days.
Is she feeling any better?
She's feeling okay, but because the pain has kind of jumped a little bit, I think as the days go by, she is getting better. And thank you for asking. A lot of people have emailed. Kind of recap. Norm and I were riding our bikes with our gear on. Devin, by the way, was all geared up. She was on the rollerblades, and the only problem is that she hit a twig while she was riding. She was flying. She's a young 18-year-old. Why not, right? And she's very athletic. She flipped, fell on her backbone area, and you had mentioned what is that bone back there? Was it
like the tailbone?
The tailbone, exactly what it was too. And she hurt her buttocks real bad, but she landed on her arm and her wrist. She has been very, very cool about, we iced it. We did a few things. And to answer your question, she's feeling okay, but she can't do gym, and she's bummed because she rounds out the final few weeks of her high school career.
I know. And that is a bummer, but I mean, that was recommended by the ER. Certainly she should stick with that. And, just because nothing was broken, she's going to still be in pain for days as those muscles are healing and, just those bruises going away. That hurts. So not to mention the road rash I'm sure she has on her arm, So, well, I'm glad that she's, handling it well. It is a bummer about gym, but there's still time.
You know what I've
There's
noticed
still a little bit of time
on me, and I'm not going to show you this, but when I wiped out on my bike, when I had just purchased my bike, and I had gotten the clip-in shoes, and this is, I'm not afraid of it, but that's what I was afraid of, crashing and not being able to. Well, when you're not used to unclicking and clicking your feet, and if you're truly cycling, because some people like my wife and you ladies and some of my friends don't like that. They like their gym shoes, which is cool. To each his own on those pedals. Well, I flipped and the gears went straight up the back of my leg and ripped it real deep all the way up. No big deal. But this goes back to August of 2015.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But still, a healthy amount of time.
Yes.
It's finally, you could still see, but I almost like you're a stud. War wounds.
You've got
Ricky.
war wounds, right? It's those scars. They all have a story, don't they? It's funny.
They
it's
sure
funny.
do.
Well, the other thing I want to talk about today goes along. I heard Mayor Milo on the radio earlier, and I had not heard about her movement, the campaign she's wanting about a little bit more kinder and gentler. But the kindness and a positive attitude was something I wanted to talk about today. It goes along with anti-bullying and stuff, but it isn't just what we need to teach children. Of course, the younger that they are taught, they'll grow up just having some of those behaviors to prevent bullying and assisting, finding ways to stop it when they do see it. But I feel like it's such a bigger problem than we really realize. But negative attitudes in general. Yesterday I have to say, this is terrible, but my children and I, in between a track meet and a 4-H meeting, went through a drive-through. Now, I try to steer clear of drive-through foods at all, especially since doing Younger Life. I know how bad it is, but we did. We went through a drive-through, and it seemed like a little bit of a longer wait. And when we got up there was the young guy at the window apologized to me for the long wait.
Why?
Well, he said, "I'm really sorry that the wait has been so long." And I said, "That's okay, whatever." I didn't ask. I didn't know what was going on. But he said they had a very belligerent customer come through that was so angry. I mean, she was cursing and calling them names and just talking terrible to these people, and even to the manager. I mean, it sounded ugly from what he said, and I said, well, he said, so we had to ask her to leave, and so that caused quite a ruckus. And I said, my kids were in the car, like I said, and I said, well, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Everybody's different, and unfortunately, some people are just like that. But he was very flustered, and he was apologizing, over and over about making us wait. And who cares? I mean, whatever.
In life, it's like one of those things where it's like, I get it. Thank you for the apology.
I felt terrible. I felt terrible for them, though. When we pulled away, and it actually opened a conversation with the kids and I, which I thought was great. That's what made me think of why it's important to talk about. Of course, they know. We talk about bullying. Bullying is a big thing now. Bullying has always happened. But I mean, it's addressed a lot more now in schools, especially when you bring social media into the
I agree
into the aspect and stuff. So I think it's important, and the kids they're very accustomed to hearing it. But I think it's when it's in that, they don't think of adults as doing it. They think of kids. So to listen to this young man tell us, he's so flustered, tell us the story of this woman that was just really being ridiculous. I told the kids that's bullying too. I mean, that's no different, and that's terrible. No one should be talked down to. No one
agree,
and no one has the right to demean someone just because they are unhappy, and you're going to encounter unhappy people. So it led to a really nice discussion on just why we need to be aware of trying to stay positive and stay focused on that, and whatever. So we'll talk about little things that we can do to keep that. But let's talk to Carly.
Carly Marley, welcome to the show. How are you? Welcome to Younger Life. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Doing good. Mary Anthony and I are very excited. Mary Anthony,
good
Carly.
Morning. Yes. Hi. It's nice to meet you.
Hey, I want to chat with you because I was explaining, you're 22 years old, and I know we never say a woman's age, but in this case, you're young and you're a working professional. You're a college woman.
Own it, sister. That's good.
Come on.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
One of the things we chat about on the show is how we could stay younger longer, tying in healthy ways of eating, tying in workout routines, tweaking our schedule a little bit, and everything from finances to just the stabling
even
of
the
life.
motivation. Truthfully, it's difficult to stay motivated all the time. We all have down days or days we don't feel so great and don't feel like doing that workout or cooking the better alternative.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm always interested to talk to new people and find out, especially your age. I'm curious what keeps you motivated to keep, going at it, keep trying, and keep, especially the workout side, because that's where I really lax. So,
So usually I start out my day. What kind of gets me the most motivated? I'll start out with a smoothie. Depending on what I'm in the mood for. So I'll either add fruit in it or I'll add vegetables or spinach. And after I drink the smoothie, I just kind of feel more like uplifted compared to eating, like a donut or a Pop-Tart. Because once you start out your day with a lot of sugar, I just feel like it's kind of frumpy and it kind of makes you more tired and more, relaxed compared to drinking a smoothie where you're so uplifted and you're ready to go. After I do that, depending on my day, I always try to make sure I get a workout in, whether if it's earlier in the morning or if it's later at night. Personally, I like to work out in the morning just because once it's, later at night, I get so tired. I'm like, I really don't want to do this. Or I'll try to make an excuse.
It is. It's difficult by then.
It is. It's so hard. Another thing I really like to do is if it's nicer outside, I don't know if you like to run or if you like to walk, I love to work out outside if it's nicer outside. So just grab an iPod, or, if you have a CD player, just pop some music in that gets you motivated or something uplifting, and I say just go for it. Either go for a nice, long jog, or a nice longer walk, or even a bike ride. My dad loves to bike ride.
Yeah,
so
I know.
He motivated me to start bike riding.
I think that's great. And, you some of these things you're saying are dead on. We just did, we were reading about benefits of walking, as an option, like you said, or jogging. If people love to jog, go for that. But walking's a good start. But the outside thing, you don't even realize you like it, but it's so much more beneficial on so many levels. And it surprises me when we read that. Of course, you just feel like you enjoy it more. But the truth is your body chemically, you put out more endorphins and stuff when you're outside. It brings a more calming effect to the body and the mind, and I think that's awesome. And so it's neat. Yeah, you like it. There's so many reasons why you like it, and I feel like it's so much more beneficial. So I think that's awesome. It's good to point out, though, that you're willing to do your workouts at night if you have to. There are those of us. I am not. I would rather not be a super early bird, but it does feel good to get up and get it done in the morning. I'd rather sleep if I could.
Right,
if I could sleep that extra 30 or 40 minutes, I would rather try to get it in the afternoon or evening. So it's nice to know that you just, so flexibility for you is a big deal then, right? Just have to be flexible with that schedule.
I would say, too, for any advice, someone just starting out, try logging. When I first really started getting the workout, I logged everything. So, starting with my time, starting with my starting weight, how fast I was going, if I was on an elliptical or a treadmill. If I was doing free weights, I would log how many sets I did or how many reps at the weight I did it at. So that really helps too. And you'll see, even going a week or 2 weeks in, you really start to see results. And I feel like that also helps me logging everything down.
Absolutely, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I think, too, logging is a great thing because for me personally, and you know how I am, Carly, even the other night, she was just getting in from a bunch of things that she had going on between work and school and, the million things she's always, and I'm pulling out of the driveway on my bike, and we were going for our night ride. She's like, going for a ride, Daddy? And I come back, a little while later, and she's making this wonderful, salad and all this cool stuff that I watch her. She's a real, out of all of us, she eats the best, I think.
Oh,
Wouldn't
really?
you say, Carly, you eat the best out of all of us?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say I definitely do have my cheat days. No matter, everyone needs a cheat day, But I would say, yeah, I love having smoothies. I love my vegetables. I love my fruits. I think that's a big thing. You don't have to stick with one thing. Everyone thinks, oh, I have to eat spinach to be healthy. Oh, I have to have, just a salad. If you do everything in moderation and you stick with, you stick with it and you stick with working out, whether it's just walking or running or something little, it definitely will help.
We hear that time and time again that from the guests that we have. It's those little changes. It's the consistency in those little changes that really make the biggest difference. We had Dr. Leva on who, she does health coaching, life coaching kind of thing too.
She's phenomenal.
A doctor. She's awesome. But the logging for her, she points out that it makes such a significant difference if you do or do not log. So I'm interested, you log then your exercise. Do you log your food as well?
I did try and start doing that. I haven't done it in a really long time, honestly, but I would love to get back on it just so I can see the differences. But I would definitely suggest, logging anything I feel like is a good start.
It does make you more aware. I mean, it certainly brings attention to it.
I'm curious on the front, Mary, and Carly Federici's with us on Younger Life. My daughter,
yeah, that's right.
And I so appreciate your time today because I know you're crazy busy between school and both your gigs today. But thanks for taking the time because this means a lot to a lot of folks. Do you eat more meals in smaller portions, Carly? Because, I see what you eat, and you kind of eat light when you're with Mom,
Dad, you pick like a bird just many times throughout the day. Is that what you do?
How do you do it? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so like I said, I start out with my smoothie, and I feel like that fills me up for a while, depending on, when I wake up or anything. But I do snack a lot. I don't do, just 3 big meals because I feel like, too, my metabolism isn't super fast. Someone with, a faster metabolism can, eat all the time. And
right.
I feel like with mine, I try to stay fuller a little bit longer by just, picking at snacks, whether if it's, an apple or just having, I love grilled peppers. That's usually one of my go-tos with a little bit of salt on it.
Your dad does, too. That's what he says.
I
he
love
does
my
too.
grilled peppers.
Yeah, he's the one who got me onto grilled peppers.
Yum.
Yeah, and you want to know what? So that my thing is, and then the other side of life with you, and I think personally, because I've seen a drastic change in you, you've always worked out, but your boyfriend, Mike, how long have you and Mike been together, your boyfriend?
Almost 3 years.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So they've been together now. Mike is one cut young man.
Really?
He is just ripped.
So he's all about fitness too then.
He is, yes.
And does that, because I know there are times where he'll get home from work and he'll go work out. You have already worked out or you're doing something different, but I know you guys have worked out, you swim, you do a lot of stuff together. What would you say is that good as a couple? Because I love it when, like, for example, Mom and I go riding. I love it. I love being with her. It's a cool motivation. What about you and Mike from your age group, young 20-somethings?
I would say absolutely. Even from when I worked at a gym for a while. I feel like that is such a big motivation, even if it's not a significant other, like a boyfriend, even if it's like a brother or sister or best friend. If you bring someone along with you, you will definitely either learn something from them or, teach them something. When I first started working out, I knew the basics of cardio and stuff like that, but I didn't know much about weightlifting or free weights or anything like that. With Mike being really into everything with working out from every aspect, he definitely taught me so much. And then we went together, all the time. Usually I go to the gym 3 days a week, and then I'll work out at home 2 days a week, so 5 days in total. And we would go together all the time. And now it's just like, oh, sure, you want to go to the gym? Yeah, I'm going to go by myself because I feel confident, going by myself and everything he taught me. So I definitely feel like, definitely going with someone will help.
And statistically, it really makes a big difference when you have someone to work out with. It doesn't have to be a love interest partner of any sorts, but just someone that kind of, because we all have those days where we lack that motivation. But if someone else is saying, we already, we have this plan, we're going, it's easier to make yourself go. And then, once you're doing it, of course, you're going to get motivated. But statistically, you'll feel more motivated to work out when you are going with a partner. If someone else is counting on you to go, you're less likely to cancel. It makes the workouts a little more fun, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're in a gym or you're going swimming or you're going for a bike ride or a run or something. You can push each other, which I think is a good point too. Statistically, you kind of put more out there because we're all a little competitive by nature, and it's all in good fun, but it's nice to do that.
Carly, do you whip his butt like on anything? Because this is what I'm most proud of, what Carly and Mike do. And Carly's turned Mike on, her boyfriend, to a lot of stuff as Mike Carly. The other day, Carly was posting, I don't know how you did this, but you guys were climbing that rock wall. That thing was huge. Talk a little bit about. They do a lot of cool fitness.
Where was the
adventures.
rock wall?
Where were you doing that rock wall at? Was that in the West Burbs of Illinois?
Yes, yeah. So right by Schaumburg area, if anybody is familiar with Schaumburg, like Woodfield Mall area, is right over there. I haven't been rock climbing before then in quite a while. So when I started going, he's like, you can do it. It's a lot of upper body strength.
It is. It's so hard. I love it, but man, it's hard.
It is. It's so hard. And I was like, I was really nervous. I'm not going to lie. And I started doing it. And like you said before, motivation from someone else is absolutely key. I feel like. So he kept motivating me to do it, and it's pretty awesome. I definitely suggest anybody, even if you don't really work out, just to try it to see all your muscles working out together and feeling sore afterwards. It's a great feeling.
It is. It really is.
Now when I saw the pictures in the video, was he like going, "Come on, Carly, do it"? Was he giving you that kind of motivation, or what? Or were you trying to beat him?
He was motivating me for sure, but I don't know, like crazy like you, Dad.
It's funny.
Who loves you, huh?
So the rock wall, was it at a gym or is it just like a rock wall place?
It's actually, it's a rock wall place. So
that's so neat.
Levels. Yeah,
that's really, really neat. There is a gym. It's actually like a Y of sorts, but it isn't, that my family goes to occasionally in the South Bend area.
Okay.
And they have, in the gym, there is a huge rock wall they have from very, very simple to, medium kind of. And then they have hard and like expert, but it's just, and it's big and it's fun. It's a great time. And, the kids are so much better at it than I am.
Well, and
it's just fun though. I think that's awesome.
What's cool about Carly too and Mike, Now, this is as we continue to evolve and getting ready to move and all that fun stuff. Carly's equipment gets more and more. So in the garage, she's got skis in one corner. She's got her snowboard. But here, I want you to just, if you have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you tried out with Mike something that I never thought you would do, but I love personally as a young kid, I loved to ski. Love. So you tried skiing, you bought poles, you bought it all. Talk to me a little bit about your experience skiing, because you guys have done that several times along with snowboarding several times, but talk about the skiing side of life.
Yeah, so I started skiing probably, I would say like 4 years ago, and I am not a coordinated person. I'm going to be very honest. I'm very clumsy. So me going on skis, I was like, this isn't really a good idea. I don't know if I can do this. There was definitely a lot of falling, a lot of tears, because I'm like, I can't do this. What am I doing? And these little kids who are 2 and 3 years old are just flying by me on the slope.
I know.
But yeah, I definitely practiced a lot. I loved skiing. Then I transitioned to snowboarding probably like 3 years ago. So I started out with skiing, like I said, and I feel like skiing definitely helped me with just even the basics and the fundamentals. Switching over to snowboarding, getting used to something being on the bottom of your feet, and I absolutely love snowboarding.
I've skied before, and I'm not the best skier. I wipe out a lot, but it's fun.
I love it.
It's a lot of fun, but I've tried snowboarding. Even on a tiny little hill, my kids have some snowboards where my feet are not actually even locked in, and it is so much harder. They make so much fun of me because...
Snowboarding to me, I'm afraid.
I don't know why I'm afraid too, but it's mental for me. It's certainly a mental hurdle. I will try it, but I wipe out. I get on it and it's like I anticipate falling, so instead I just do it. I just like dump over, But so they crack up because even my littlest kids can get on the snowboard and go down.
Carly, we had some challenges from the Younger Life tech crew about snowboarding this past year, but maybe as we work through into the next fall and winter,
maybe we'll have some more snow so we can actually enjoy that rather than
we would
snow
love to
for a weekend and then it's gone or something, So
well, these guys go all over the place. They'll do Wisconsin, Michigan,
that's fantastic.
Illinois, different areas. Now, Mike, her boyfriend, he's got 2 brothers. They're all around the same age, so they're about a year or so apart, and they're all health nuts. They're all workout dudes, but they're incredible snowboarders. I mean, they're trick kind of snowboarders.
See, that's so neat, and how much fun. And that's, that's the best way to sneak in exercise. Everything I read, even the studies that I'm reading, when you're exercising, when you're doing stuff you love that's active, it's exercise in a way that is disguised as fun, and you're more inclined to do more of that then and make that part of your lifestyle versus just I have to work out. No one wants to.
How did that go again?
I have to work out. But I think that's a great point with whether it is the rock wall or whether it is the skiing and snowboarding. When it is things that you love like that, you're much more inclined to make it your lifestyle. So I think that's great. I think Carly is super.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's very uplifting to hear you enjoying so many of these things and making it part of your life now. I think you'll hold on to it a lot longer, I think, and maintain that, when it's something that you love like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it definitely, I feel like I said, I'm young, but it keeps me young and it keeps me motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's wonderful. And again, then you'll be much more inclined to keep those behaviors going, throughout life. So, bravo.
Hey, Carly Marley, what's on the agenda for today when it comes to eating food? Because I was thinking, I made all those eggs last night, and I noticed when I was leaving for work this morning, I took a tortilla and I took one of the eggs. Did you take a few eggs last night and take the shell off of the hard-boiled eggs and then put them back in the fridge?
Well, yeah. So I took 3 of them, and then I had 2. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want the other one, so I put it back.
Oh, how funny.
See, she'll take hard-boiled eggs and she'll put it on her salads, or she'll eat them separately.
Yeah.
And it's so cute because even yesterday when she got home from her other job, and then she did some school stuff, and then she had clients all night here and stuff. So she had a little break, and so we made that. And how do you like that chicken sausage? There's nothing bad in it. There's 0 fat, and there's 12 grams of protein. I love that. You were cutting it up, and what were you throwing that in? Your salad or your spaghetti or what?
So I did usually I'll do like a light salt on the eggs, and then I'll cut it up into like little tiny slices. And I was doing that with the chicken sausage. It was really good. Then I put it in my salad, and then I love ranch. I'm a huge ranch person. So I just put some ranch on top of it, and just ate it. It was a nice, like, quick fix, and it was really filling, too, I feel like, because you do have all your protein and everything in it.
Yeah, I love hard-boiled eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I could, the egg whites are what I love. So I could take, I swear I could eat a dozen hard-boiled eggs, take all the yolk out, and just snack on them all day. I love them. I do. I love them. The kids love them, too. So
what's on the Carly agenda today? Are we working out a little bit later on, or what's going on? I know you're busy.
Yeah, get a workout in, and then I have clients all day and do a little bit of homework. So run some errands.
Well, I love you, and I'm so proud of you. You're a wonderful young woman, and I am blessed to have great daughters in you and your sister Devin. And of course, I love your mom.
Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it.
By the way, I just want to make sure you remember this. I made you, not your mother.
Okay, Dad.
I love you.
Love you. Thanks
Have
for
a good day.
having me on, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, bye-bye.
Thank you, Carly Olivia Federici. Was that cute or what?
Yes. I think I love that. Again, it's everyday life for her. That's normal. It's not something she's trying to tackle. This is just part of her everyday life. And I think that's key.
I'm surrounded by this.
Well, I think that's key. I think it's key to having that, keeping that positive attitude about it makes it, again, it incorporates it into part of the lifestyle. So I think that it is very important, and I think that's awesome. And, again, inspiring. I love to hear other people's stories on what drives them to keep going. And again, if they love it, they don't feel like they have to keep going, quote unquote. It's just part of life.
Or that it's actually a pain in the butt.
That's
no pun
it.
intended, but you know what I'm saying?
It's just part of their normal life, and that they wouldn't give it up because that's just how they live their life. And I love that. I feel like we are very active, but there are things that with myself that I've laxed on just because of being tired and looking for convenience, or just saying, oh, I don't feel like it today. But it's nice. It's uplifting to hear someone that, just puts it in there every day and makes me think, there's a few tweaks, and that's what I'm working on.
You notice how she said too, and I love this because Devin's makeup is different than Carly's makeup, than Norma's, than mine.
Yeah.
But I love it as a young lady, and I specifically want people to hone in on stuff. What she was saying is, my metabolism isn't as fast as I'd like it to be. In other words, she knows what's going to make her, for lack of a better word, but being blunt, gain weight.
Right.
She knows what's
She
going to
knows how to
help
keep
her
herself
out.
in check.
And for her, like, I've actually learned a lot from what she does in terms of my portions. And even talking with her and some of my other friends, where she literally will have a portion, we'll go out and she will literally stop at a half of that portion. Like say they bring out a plate. That's it, we're done. There's no dessert, or hey, here's what I'm doing, half, and then here's what I'm going to do for, Do you know
one tip along those lines that I read once, and I was trying to do this for a while, and then I just got lax on it too. But when you are at a restaurant and you order whatever you order, when they bring your food, ask them right then for a box, and that way you can literally cut it in half.
Yep.
No matter what it is.
I agree.
If you do that, it's a mental thing. So you remove that from the plate. You remove that altogether from in front of you.
Yes.
And so you eat what's there a little slower, and mentally, your body will start signaling that you're full when that's gone, even though. Make sure you're drinking water too is what's recommended.
Water will definitely fill you up.
But I mean, to do that, it actually, tricks your body into feeling like you're full or faster, because the truth of the matter is it takes a little while for those signals, belly to brain, to say stop eating. You are really full. And if you have that whole portion in front of you, you might just keep eating because you're visiting and you're enjoying yourself. It's not because you feel starving.
You're
just
grazing, and all of a sudden you look down and you're like, oh my gosh,
I did eat it all, when you didn't have to.
Finished.
So I think that's a great point that you bring up, that she will take half of it aside, but even go a step further than that, ask for that box right away and remove that. I was doing that for a while and really found that to be an easy little tweak in my, but then I kind of just, we go out to eat and sometimes we're in a big hurry and I just,
do you eat the bread at the table ever?
It just depends.
Yes.
I'm trying to be mindful of it when I do.
I as well, big time for me.
I read once that you should enjoy everything you eat. So if you want that bread, eat it, but eat it slow. Enjoy the bread. Enjoy what you're eating instead of just a habit. There are times where we get so hectic and so busy. We rush to eat and we are famished by the time we get it. Mm-hmm. And you're wolfing it down before you even realize what it tastes like, And so I think
you burn the top of your mouth real bad.
Oh yeah. You don't even care because you're starving rather than just, snarfing it down. So take a breath and enjoy it, so,
someone just texted me and asked me if we could do a show on, and it's funny. I heard about it today, during one of the radio shows on the, station WIMS, which is the station that I do the show with before the TV show here with you. And it was the soup diet. And it's a brand new diet that's out there. And I guess it's all the craze in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
And I guess what they're saying is it's kind of like people that, and I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying it's something, someone just dinged me about it. It's not a juicing diet, but it emulates it, but it also gives you, because it's soup, you could have the fiber, the protein, and whatever, whereas juicing wouldn't particularly do that, for you.
Well, I'd say for my own self, I like soups, but I am not, I don't feel as satisfied from a soup, as silly as that is, I want I want to eat something.
I want to eat.
So I'm saying I could deal with that. Maybe, that would be a great alternative to say every day I'm going to make a healthy soup lunch. But other than that.
We just got spanked by our challenge guy, Dwayne.
Okay.
No bread, Rick. That wasn't a spank for you. Love the show today.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dwayne. I know. I can't, he is remarkable.
He's awesome.
He literally gave up all breads. I could not.
It's tough.
I mean,
I'm telling you.
I think it's crazy. But I think good for him. And I understand his reasoning, again, type 2 diabetes, the bread, there's a lot of, it'll raise your glucose level. So I get that, but I just, I love bread.
You know how he said the other day that he is motivated by the show for us? Funny. I heard him in my voice again yesterday and today when he says, if there's the word enriched flour or whatever, don't touch it. It was the first ingredient in, this bread. It's like a sourdough bread. There's zero fat.
I love sourdough
So do
bread.
I. And I want to figure this out because it says zero fat, hardly any carbs. There's actually protein, but the first ingredient was enriched flour.
Yeah.
And I think the carbs are like 14 grams a slice. Is that bad? That's what I'm saying. But I heard him say, don't eat the sourdough. So I didn't. That's why I brought my tortillas.
I do love sourdough bread, but I think that's interesting. It is difficult. And as we learn more about labeling ourselves, we've discussed this before, we're still working on getting those dietitians in here and where they could maybe talk us through what we should more look for. I have really started just trying to look at the ingredients. And if it is one of the first, few ingredients,
I'm
then
with you.
steer clear.
Well, they say that the first sets of ingredients
I want to say the first 5 ingredients
are like what it is.
That's it. Actually, I think the first 3, and they're actually listed in the order of the amount that's in there. So if the most present ingredient is listed first, if that makes sense.
So like if enriched
So if it says
flour,
sugar or enriched flour or sugar or any high fructose corn syrup, steer clear, but I mean if those are listed in the first few ingredients, that's primarily what it's made up of. So I think it's wise to be looking at labels. We're learning all the time. We learn from our guests so much. I think I take that away the most. The things I love to hear what they do, the way that their little tweaks of doing things.
I love bonding with those guys. The young
well,
crowd,
I mean, all of them.
So fun.
But I mean, even Carly, perfect example. Just little things. It's not necessarily exactly what works for her. I just like to hear what she's doing to say, hey, I could probably incorporate at least a portion of that into my day, my routine, my things.
Well, here's a great example too of a young person, 22, saying, you know what, I can't ski. I kept falling. I kept crying. Yeah. And then I got up and I did it again. But then she said it helped her get to she loves the snowboarding.
Yeah. It's so funny to hear her say about the crying because I'll tell you the first time I learned to ski, I wasn't crying at all, but I think I made a kid cry. Not one of my own either. this kid. I was a teenager. He kept I was learning and he kept literally getting in front of me, like at the bottom of the hill. And I would, ooh, look out, as I'm trying to stop, and he would move. Finally, once I came down, and that stinking kid was in front of me again, and I just collapsed right on top of him, and he ended up crying on me. I said, I'm sorry, but I want to say, that's like the 5th time, kid, you were directly in front of me. It's like, I think he was making fun of me, so he would just stand there as I'm coming down, and I would barely miss him every time. He was playing his own little game of
which is a beautiful segue into bullying.
Yeah, it is. I really want to focus. Bullying is an enormous topic. I think, we met Joe Ellen at the safety fair from the Port Hospital, and her whole crew had an amazing setup of not just infant care and cradle recommendations, but she had stuff about anti-bullying and the truth, like the numeric values of the percentages of bullying and online bullying and all of these things. So I really would rather have that discussion with her, and we're trying to get her on, but I want to focus more on the positive attitude for ourselves.
Sure.
And a positive attitude for yourself puts you in such a better place. You're naturally more kind to those around you, and it's such an important thing to own your own self, but also to teach. That is the best tool for your children. She is the professional that can discuss with us the numbers and the exact how-tos and ways to help deter your own child from bullying, or ways to see if maybe your child is being bullied. But us as parents, so she's the professional that I'd like to speak to. Of course, your doctor's always a resource, your pediatrician. But I think it's important for adults. Again, the fast food example, like I said last night, going through that, I was just shocked.
How did that come up, if you don't mind me asking? So you went through the drive-thru.
Yeah, we were in the drive-thru. It was quite a wait. I mean, it seemed like we were there for a few minutes, but we were in a huge hurry, and the kids were famished. And one of my daughters, when she gets low blood sugar, she is very lightheaded, whatever. So we always try to pack snacks and have things on hand, but we didn't have them. We had gone to a track meet anticipating that our concession stand would be open for some popcorn.
And it wasn't?
So we took a few things with us, but very few. And they were gone, and it wasn't. So she was so pale. And I said, we'll buzz through fast food on the way to our 4-H meeting, which was our next event before going home. And
do you ever sleep?
Late. Late at night. Anyways. So that was the plan. And so it was quite a wait in the line. And again, I didn't think much about it. It was, I was more preoccupied just talking to them. And we had dogs with us because we were going to a dog 4-H meetings. Our dogs were all a bunch of ruckus.
Gosh,
and so it was loud. And I really didn't realize the wait, but we got up there and the young man was very flustered. And he's apologizing for the wait. And I said, oh, it's okay. I mean, we were a loud car, so whatever. And he was just kept saying he was sorry. And he said, it's kind of a mess in here right now. We had a customer that was irate for whatever reason. And, just began cussing at them and calling them names, and even the manager. And so the manager came to the window, and he's the one that brought the last little bit of stuff and said, I really am sorry.
Did he give you anything free?
Oh, no. And it was no big deal. And he just said, I really am sorry. It just escalated to a point we had to have them leave. And I said, you don't owe us any explanation. It's fine. And, I said, I'm really sorry you guys had to deal with that. And, again, it was just important. What led me to really thinking about today. I was up late reading just things about bullying. And again, it's staggering when you really read the numbers. I really would rather wait till we can talk to a professional, but I think there are things that we can do for our own self that's important to talk about.
Absolutely agree with you on that.
So it led to a nice discussion with the kids about bullying isn't just in school. Bullying isn't just kids being mean to kids, which that happens, and it's important to discuss, and we talk about that. But it's also important to point out that adults are bullies too. And
adults are bullies, but adults can also be, the person who's like talking down to the young person, talking to another adult, talking to their coworker.
You can be the bully or the bullied.
Yes.
And neither side is good, and it's not good it's terrible to witness bullying on any level. It's terrible to be part of, whether you're the bullied or whether you found yourself being so frustrated by something else that you may have spoke to someone in a way that you would not normally either. You just bullied someone, So it's important to try to keep our wits about ourselves. And that's really the thing. And then hearing about the mayor with Mayor Milo trying to campaign towards a gentler, kinder community.
A new campaign. I was checking out, I'm like, a new campaign.
I thought that was clever when you said that. Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, the point being is that it is, it's just important for all of us. And there are things that we can all do to maintain a positive attitude. And I'd like to focus on those a little. Do we have a call?
Yes, we do. Star VIP Hotline this hour brought to you by LaPorte Hospital with screenings going on in the area. More coming up before the back end of the show.
Mary, how may I help you?
Mary, it's for Younger Life, hon. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, I was just wanting to say, too, that you can have young adults bully older adults.
That's very true. Yeah, you mean the elderly?
I've had that situation a time or two at work. You know, these kids want to come in and think that they're going to tell me, and it's like, you know, they just, I don't say anything and let them think they're going to, and then I wheel back at them, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait, so you're saying that someone is disrespectful to you as an adult, like a young person is disrespectful to you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's shameful, but it does happen on every level. That was the conversation with my children that I enjoyed the most. I feel like we were able to address that this really, it's universal, and it really can be at any age. And the best defense you can do to prevent yourself from ever being someone that does disrespect someone is try to keep your own wits about you, you know, but never disrespect you. Respect is the number one thing you have to keep in mind. Every person in the entire world deserves respect, and no one deserves to be disrespected on any level.
What did you say back to this individual? What did they say to you?
It was not one, it was two.
Whoa.
That's even more difficult, though.
And you know, I kind of let them blow their stuff off, and then I came back, and then my boss came out, and she looked, and you know, she kind of listened from afar, and then the next thing I know was she was like, she's got that, you know.
Good.
Oh my goodness, you know. But yeah, she said, I don't think I would have ever spoke to those guys that way. And I says, well, you know, I told them I knew that the adult raising them would not appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Good for
you. And they should never do that again.
Was your boss? Let me. I want to clarify this too, because there's something wrong with your boss if they're not sticking up for you, being the adult. And I'm not saying that to be weird, but was your boss? You know,
she did not. She heard it from a back room.
Okay.
But when she heard it, you know, she was thinking she needed to intervene.
Okay.
But when she heard that, you know, I kind of
you held your own.
I toned it louder.
You go, Mama.
You know, I put the mom shoes on is what I really did.
That's it.
Yep.
And I said, you know, if you come in here, you will get respect if you give me respect.
Mm-hmm.
The way you are acting, I says, you either need to leave or I call the cops.
Good for you.
They didn't like the cops coming.
Yeah. Nobody wanted that.
You know, and then unfortunately they asked for an application, but if you don't provide them with an application, you get the big discrimination against you.
Of course.
Well, you know what I love? I love that you brought up the mom shoes for a second, only because I say when it is an adult dealing with a young person that is being disrespectful, it's important to put them in their place a little. I'm not saying, you know, scold, but it's important to remind them that
you should have respect for your elders.
Well,
you're adults.
Right, and I told him, I said, you know, I know that in my house this is not allowed.
That's it.
And guess what? It would not be allowed in your house. And I says, I don't care if you live with your parents or somebody and a guardian. I go, whatever guardian you have, if you give me their phone number right now where I can reach them, we'll have a conversation.
They say, forget it. They don't want that.
And they were like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Well, you know, I think that's important to point out, especially when you bring up the application aspect. That is not a hireable quality in someone. A hothead, number one, or disrespect is not someone that an employer would want in an employee.
Serving or taking care of customers.
On any level. I don't care what line of business you're in. You deal with people.
Right.
And no one is going to want their employees to have disrespect for anyone else.
But don't you agree, and I'm sure our caller would agree, that you know, it starts at the home or it starts at square one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It really does.
Absolutely.
Agree, caller, on that one?
Correct,
that respect starts
I think it starts there, but sometimes, unfortunately, I've seen situations where it doesn't start there.
Yeah.
You can start it at someplace else.
Right, absolutely.
You can teach these kids someplace else, and then they're like, wow, that's what you were telling me. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes they've never seen any different, you know, unfortunately.
Now, to make the story a little bit better, the young gentleman came in, checked on their applications, were totally nice. They said, you know, well, what's the status of them? And I said, guys, you never signed them.
Oh.
And they go, so can we fill it out again? And I said, I'm going to give you these applications to take with you. Look at them. I said, you need to look at them.
Read the whole thing.
And I said, read the whole thing. And they're like, you mean we didn't sign it and you didn't tell us? And I said, hey, that wasn't my job.
Yeah, yeah.
And they stopped in another time and said, we've been thinking. And I'm like, okay, what do you guys think? And then they're like, we need to owe you an apology for the first time we were in here.
Oh, well, that's fantastic.
And I mean, it was a group of them, and they were just, I work in a food environment. They were combing their hair in the store. They were doing this. They were doing that. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
Here's a good one. Note to self. Thanks for the call. Have a great day.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Note to self
you taught
on
them
everybody.
A lesson. Good deal.
Never, ever, ever, if you're going for a job, never, ever go in there with a group of people. You always go by yourself, always look good, always have a resume, never wear perfume, never wear cologne, make sure your nails look good, make sure your teeth look, you know what I mean? You
have to be presentable. Yeah.
Yes. First impression, people. I don't care how old you are.
Well, and respect is the number one thing you should, and good manners is the number one thing you should be worried about. I mean, manners matter all the time. It's the saying we say it all the time. Manners matter all the time.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter where you are, but I think as far as, again, this is a very broad topic, but in doing so, I think some of these children, let's say, they don't learn those behaviors at home because maybe their caretaker, whoever, parents, family, whoever it is, doesn't teach respect or doesn't exhibit respect themselves.
Shame on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Straight out.
So as far as we do need to maintain a positive attitude, and we're all going to have days where we're not the most positive. It's just real life.
I don't know about you, but I love life.
I love life too. But there are still minutes that I could say I will keep my eyes shut and the blankets over my head and not deal with it. We all have those days.
You're right.
And I think that having a positive attitude occasionally sounds easier, it's easier said than done. So I think there are, this was a really cool little website I found that said 11 little tips on it. It says to remember that it's important to realize that you determine your own reality. So by the way you react to the outside world, you have a moment to choose your response. You can be negative or you can be positive. That doesn't mean you have to agree with the situation. You can still disagree without having it turn into an ugly disaster mess for yourself, mentally, emotionally, or anyone that you're around. No one else needs to walk away beaten down because you aren't happy with the situation. You can do that in a proper way. But something as simple as this is certainly not simple, but as big as losing one's job, which I know has been an issue over the last few years. People get laid off, you lose your job, whatever. It can be disastrous on an emotional level, or it can be a turning point, and you have to take a minute, take a breath, and determine your own reality. Yes. Okay, this is what's going on. Let's face and make a new plan. So step 2 or tip 2 says start your day out strong. Positive people actually create a morning ritual that reinforces how great their life is and that they're happy to be alive.
Can I throw some out there?
Please do.
Okay, this is and I've said this before. I wake up every day, and I'm so glad you said that. I wake up every day. I open my eyes. Now, this is not throwing religion. I thank the good Lord.
This is what you do, right?
I have my altar boy statue for when I was an altar boy, my Jesus cross, and my Mary statue. And I kiss them all. I say thank you. Continue to pray for my family and my loved ones. And I move about my day. Thank you, Lord.
That's your ritual. And not only that, but you're acknowledging your existence and your gratefulness for the day. And I think it's important. It says this is really cool.
Tip.
This the author of this article that their way of starting their day out in a positive manner was to wake up and listen to "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi.
Oh, rock on!
And then appreciate, and then appreciate the day and move forward. Again, so it doesn't matter how you do it or whether you have 1 minute, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes to start your day. But it's important to acknowledge that day and go about it open yourself to a positive attitude. I typically hit snooze 20 times and lay in bed.
But there's a but.
I do, and I lay in bed trying to mentally plan my day out and. I try to smile in bed and think, okay, here we go. We can do this. We're going to have a great day. I try to mentally set myself up for that day's whatever the hills and valleys of that day are going to be, and the roller coaster that it typically is, as far as all over the place, the circus of it.
And then do you take 1 foot and you get out of the bed and you go, 1 foot is out,
no,
2 foot, 2 feet foot,
2 feet. Sing my own little song. No, and it's funny. I do find myself. I am. I don't ever say I'm a morning person, but I'm happy in the mornings.
Life.
I want to get up and I want to be happy. Negative energy certainly breeds negative energy. So tip 3, I'll try to buzz through these a little quicker.
Guess what? You got about a minute.
Okay, so we know exercise.
Here we go.
We know exercise is the natural feel-good drug. Okay, so we know that already.
Take your time.
You can use books or videos, or it says overload your brain with positive messages. And this is a great thing. Tap into the positive energy from others, whether that be people in your life, whether that be you listen to there's a new news broadcast that you love. Fine, try to make it a positive one. Don't focus on the negative, because especially in the mornings when you're setting yourself up for your day, that's the mode you're going to be in most.
Yeah, I agree.
So
you
really need to focus on that. Your language shapes your thoughts.
Okay.
This is very interesting. Little changes in your language can change the way you feel or act. Whenever someone greets you and asks how you're doing, if you say fine or not too bad, you're kind of setting that tone for yourself.
Yeah.
Answer with great, fantastic, or it's a wonderful day. It's amazing.
Good to be alive.
I love
Thank you,
that
Andy.
song.
So
That's
do
like
I.
a theme song. It
Love
really
it.
is. Not only does this remind our brains in a little subconscious way that life is great, but you usually find that you're uplifting actually the person that you're answering as well. So I loved that. Tip 6, hang out with positive people. I say this all the time. Positive energy breeds positive energy, as well as negative energy will bring you down as well as those around you. So try to be positive and, shoot for that. Show your appreciation for others. I think that's huge.
Hey,
Do that every day.
I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you so much.
This is a great tip. Garbage in, garbage out. This is an expression for a reason. It's the same when it's food or you're watching TV or listening to music. It goes back to negative images, negative, the things you're listening to. If it's all negative, you're going to feel that.
Okay.
Don't put yourself on a negativity
How
diet.
about being around
is
negative
what they
people?
Say. That too. It says that. It says don't put yourself on a negativity diet. Whether that's included, it says including people, the shows you watch, the things you listen to.
I agree with you.
Try
100%.
to focus on the positive.
Or music.
Tip 9, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like music that's...
Yeah. Sometimes I like
20
her.
seconds.
I'll tell you. I like it sometimes. But
20 seconds.
Stop negative thoughts in their tracks. Focus on, pull something positive. As soon as you start having those negative thoughts, try to turn it into a positive way. And then live with gratitude. Again, very important. Every day, be grateful. Name 3 things mentally every day you're grateful for. It could
Stop
be the
right
same
there.
things.
All right. I'm Rick Federici.
I'm Mary Anthony.
By the way, I'm so appreciative that
day.
you're wonderful. Thank you, Mary.
And remember to recharge your batteries. It says take some time off, get enough sleep. That's the last tip
AM
for the day,
1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.
CBS News. I'm Steve Kathan. Former House Speaker Dennis